Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. I know the mic is kind of far away. Let me just make this brief here. This video is about key reasons why they should change course. Number one, I'm the top martial artist ever possible. For those of you who are wise, you know that that makes me Christ, the heavenly warrior defeating the beast, and that the miracles are figurative. I will not conform minor changes to my brain and fuming me and poisoning me and sexually harassing me and all the financial sabotage and the attempts at bribery and the attempts to intimidate me will not change this. I have won no matter what. Point number two, since 2009 I've insisted on a moral order and a righteous king. On YouTube also, since 1995 I have been saying similar things on social media. And I have a song from about 98 or so where I make it clear that there should be a moral order where people answer the true call of God. Not just people saying they're answering God's call, but actually answering it. No gimmicks, no contrast games, no saying, hey, because they're not Joel Osteen, then magically they might be answering God's call, but actually answering God's call in the divine order, the only way to answer God's call. Point number three, one proposal I've made for them is for them to mitigate the various adverse effects that they're bringing upon themselves. And this involves keeping the three branches of government and creating a fourth, as there needs to be more logical checks and balances. Okay, so in the fourth branch, the idea is that I would be the head of it, and after I'm gone, it'll be somebody who is from the poor, right? From the poor classes of society, who looks poor, who looks like they could be, an undocumented immigrant, except for they're born in America. Maybe a poor female from East LA who's Hispanic, or a poor islander, or poor black person, poor white person, some kind of poor person who is very sincere and heartfelt. And the people would back that person to make sure that they don't intimidate her, make sure that they know that you can intimidate him or her, rather, without there being consequences. Okay. Point number four. Part of the problem is the people who are doing this want to feel powerful and they don't really know how to. Point number five, they want to feel important and they don't really know how to. Point number six, as a result of them not organizing their thinking around moral precision, they have sadistic disorder, right? They have a disorder known as sadism. And quite often it's sexual sadism. Point number seven, they want to have money and potential mates. Now, when you think about it, the problem there has to do with communication, people finding a suitable helper for themselves, what have you. It has to do with them not getting themselves together, not working on their mind, body, soul, and spirit. And inevitably what happens is they start slipping into a fugue-like state of mind. They're fugitive impulses. They're a fugitive from morality, from God, from reality, what have you. They don't understand the way, they don't live the truth, and they live an immoral life instead of a righteous life. In Proverbs 12, I believe it's verse 28, it says, in the way of righteousness there is life. Along that path is immortality. Point number 8, there are 730 million LGBT people on the planet according to the artificial intelligence sort of Google search that I did recently. 730 million LGBT people. That's damn near 1/8 of the planet. It's like 1/12 or whatever it is. That's a lot of people. That's more people than almost every country in the world. That's over twice as many people as there are in the United States of America. So why should they spread a gay agenda if the LGBT community are the main people doing this? There's a lot of things that suggest that, right? Even the conservatives, MAGA, they look gay washed these days, what have you. So they're not thinking it through. Why don't they have a gay region for those among them who want an intensely gay environment? Why don't they have a gay region, an LGBT region that's far more LGBT than San Francisco or Hollywood? Point number 9. Most LGBT people want people to have their rights. Now, how do I know this? Well, how do I know that most LGBT people don't want to jump into a meat grinder for no reason? How do I know that most homeless people want a more fair economy? It's common sense. I talked to two LGBT people recently, and they both agreed that they would rather that people have their rights than all these people suffer while they try to make people LGBT. And I'm sure that goes for whites, and I'm pretty sure that also goes for Jewish people. That they would rather people have their rights than be forced to kind of live in a white social norm world or a Jewish social norm world. Point number 10, the people who are doing this, they look very, very bad. They look so stupid. They look unbelievably stupid. As we look at the governing class, we see things like Weinstein and Epstein. We see the failure of the popes, historically, the failure of Orthodox groups, Protestants. We see the failure of Islam and Judaism and Hinduism and Buddhism and the New Age. Okay, these people aren't coming out and saying this is the plan we need and this is why. They're speaking in a way that's vague. Very clear-cut solutions are needed here, just like this video where I give you 10 clear-cut points. Very clear-cut solutions are needed here, like my war on poverty plan, my 10% redistribution plan. Okay, redistribution, 10% of the wealth of the, well, there's different ways to do it. One way to do it is the top 50% hyper-progressively, but really focusing on the top 10, 12% or so, over 50 years. Okay, that's less than 1% a year. That's like 1/5% a year. Very affordable, very sustainable. There are robots coming, what have you. Okay, very specific plan like this. Or a plan where, you increase spending to end homelessness. Right, 10 billion a year to build more housing for the homeless, 20 billion. And you run the models and you compare the models. What happens if we do? What happens if we don't? If we had spent 5 billion a year more for the last 10 years, we could have ended homelessness. And they've been spending like 7 trillion a year. So what's the big deal? Instead of saying things like this, they say things that are a little bit more vague than that or a lot more vague than that. And as a result, nothing gets done. People need to rally for specific plans. Right? My 7-point war on poverty plan. And I'll put it in the description because I'm out of time now. Thank you.